Hi, my name is Miriam Bulliard, and I have a little bit of an infographic that I would like to share with you guys today on the topics of body dysmorphia and dissatisfaction, and kind of how all of that relates to social media and how social media can be a cause of that. On top of that, we're going to get a little bit into how these issues really affect Nosedive character Lacey Pound. To start us off, I just want to talk a little bit about one of the main issues that we see in day-to-day life are in the media that can cause body dysmorphia and dissatisfaction, and that is generally unrealistic standards that are portrayed through social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. In all of these areas, we see a lot of women who are posed, women who are overly edited, and even on TikTok, there are things like the beauty filter that are really like masking our true appearance. And seeing those things in today's day and age can cause a lot of women to feel inadequate or feel like they need to look like that, when in reality, that's just unrealistic. Heidi Pausovik states in a study that she did on this topic that female body image concern has reached epidemic proportions in recent years, and that's likely greatly due to the increase in media use. But as you can see, it's really something that is super prevalent. She also mentions that women perceive the media as the main source of pressure to be thin, and that women exposed to heavy models reported less body image disturbance than women exposed to thin models. And I think this is really interesting because it's really one of those things that's showing that if the media we consumed was more realistic, I think a lot of women would have a lot fewer issues with body dysmorphia and dissatisfaction. That being said, I'd kind of like to get into how Lacey Pound from the Black Mirror episode Nosedive relates to this topic. So to start off, Lacey lives in a society where everything revolves around the media. Your status is incredibly important, and basically if you get to a low enough status, it can go as far as you going to prison. So Lacey's obsessed with her image. But in particular, Lacey has an old friend who she's not truly very fond of, but tends to pretend that she is, named Naomi Blistow. And Naomi is that perfect representation of somebody like in our society who would be an Instagram model or an influencer of some sort. You know, she is seen several times making phone calls with her where Naomi is in lavish areas, really looking like she's living the life. And because of that, Lacey very clearly displays signs of kind of jealousy and dissatisfaction in herself. For example, in one call when Naomi rings Lacey, Lacey's eating and got a little bit of sauce on her shirt, and as soon as she sees that Naomi is calling, she rushes to throw something else on. She gets kind of erratic and nervous. She's terrified of Naomi seeing her in such a messy state. So this is kind of where you can see that Lacey feels as though she is not good enough because she has this unrealistic idea of how other people, such as Naomi, are living their lives, when in reality, Naomi doesn't have such a lavish life. She has plenty of problems, and that's something that comes out later on in the plotline as well. Now, through Lacey's journey, she starts to stray further and further from the social media limelight, as she continuously gets dinged and her score becomes so low that she essentially chooses to entirely disown media. What's interesting to view is that as Lacey strays further and further from the media, she actually truly seems to become happier and happier. I have an image on this infographic on the center right where you can see Lacey at Naomi's wedding looking happy. She's actually smiling, she seems unhinged, but she is feeling something. And it's pretty easy to see that as Lacey strays further and further from media, she becomes a lot more comfortable presenting herself as she truly is. Now, of course, Lacey's society isn't exactly like our own. However, there are a lot of parallels between her life and her dissatisfaction due to the media and our own. For example, in a study done on adolescent mental health and social media use, 78.2% of females reported body weight dissatisfaction. Additionally, 68.3% of adolescent boys reported body weight dissatisfaction. In both of these cases, the participants in this study expressed that this dissatisfaction was correlated to a lot of the images that they saw in the media, and the fact that a lot of what they are viewing is unrealistic and simply made them feel like they were not good enough. Much like Lacey, these people are seeing images in the media that make them feel as if they are not adequate. This leads me a little bit more into the topic of body dysmorphia, which is a tad bit different from body dissatisfaction. Body dysmorphia is a disorder in which somebody becomes obsessed with a specific body part and feeling as though that part of themselves looks differently than it actually does in reality. This is an issue that is often caused by societal pressures to look a certain way. Again, something that is heavily portrayed in the media, especially in areas like Instagram and Facebook. To finish up, I just want to throw out there a couple things that are important to keep in mind to maintain a healthy mindset. And the main thing is just to recognize that things in the media are unrealistic. It is also completely okay and encouraged to take periodic breaks from media consumption. That being said, thank you guys so much for listening to me talk today, and I hope you enjoyed my poster.